For this week's ETA, I had Revenant with Dorada, with Whisper, and Dark Dagger. If you don't know, you can also use Rock the Dark Dagger. As you know, Rock the Dark Dagger has like the little trick that you are invulnerable as long as you have shield. But that's beside the point. I had Revenant. Sounds great, except you don't really have weapon. I had the Whisper, which is kind of fine, but not really big AE clear. I hit some nice numbers with my semi-build Whisper, but that's beside the point. Since ETA, you want to try to get, like, you know, the pick ships, you have to use, or I have to use all modifiers. This week it was ability duration by 50%, which, you know, for the raw it's kind of annoying. For your mesmer skins it's not. Pickups do not heal, health ops cannot be picked up. Does not matter for me, once again, because I do have mesmer skin. Warframe and ally overguard gain reduced by 75, also doesn't matter. It would be matter if you use a Dante Spectre or if you would use secondary fortifier. Max energy reduced. That was actually an issue because even so I changed my build because I was reading that and I put Prime Flow on my Revenant. I was actually only able to cast my mesmer skin and I was not able to cast raw because I do run negative efficiency on my build. So raw was so expensive that even with the max energy reduced by 75, I could not run it. For the task, we had survival. Yes, that's survival. I'm sorry, I had to look at it for a second. Yeah, so the whole area deals damage, except if you kill certain enemies, they will drop something, so a certain radius is safe. Guardian Eximus units may be encountered, including Guardian Eximus Necromex. I did not really realize that, not too much at least. Yeah, and the overgrowth. But yeah, that's kind of... I did use that. Adds 10% damage to primary and secondary weapons, but that's not exactly what I use it. It's Velimir assisting. He receives the phrase force argument. And Velimir was actually assisting, so I wanted to test it out. I did not realize the biggest change because Velimir was just standing around. I don't know about you, but they just usually stand around and doing freaking nothing. For the defense. The defense is really annoying because Vamprock. Flare creates a field that disrupts players' abilities while draining energy to boost Flare's health. Holy, that nearly killed me as Revenant. That is really an issue for me. So yeah, be careful with that. Murmurs enemies join ranks with Skuldra and the Tech Rod. I say we forgot to read that and was wondering that. And allies within 4 meters of slain enemies reduced movement speed and parkour velocity. We do already know that. For that, I use Burger Fest. Enemies have a 5% chance of dropping Argon Burger boxes that can pick up to heal. I think I did not get a single Burger box drop, which really annoys me. Because yes, obviously it's only 5%, but I was hoping that I could use this to heal Flare, obviously. But I did not get a single drop, I think. Exterminate, pretty easy. You simply drop, your crew member. We did have crew members this week, or year wheel this week, so that's literally it. You can drop your crew member, and technically a crew member does it for you, so don't worry about Exterminate. Eximus killed 75% to drop an elemental ammo pack. I just wanted to use the stickers and test them out, honestly, this week, but see you in my run. There we go. So, we're loading in. First mission is the survival. It's actually 10 minutes. So, for the survival, if you kill the Baos, I actually don't know how they're actually called. I just call them like that. I'm really sorry. I should really consider learning names. I'm really bad with names. In general, I have a really bad name memory. I do really struggle with remembering names half of the time. If you kill the big ones that coming out from half thingies, but they are spawning extra, they will drop something that when you pick it up, or when you kill them in general, they will reduce your timer by, I think, 30 seconds. So it's actually, if you can kill them, actually kind of nice. Here you see the little blue circle on the floor. It's a bit harder. I should have actually built my Rock the Dark Dagger better. I do have a melee influence build on it, and still I somehow did not use it. Here you see the blue circle. That's what I meant about it. Where when you're outside of it, you will take toxic damage. If you're inside of it, it should be fine. You don't take damage. And I'm still annoyed when I rewatch myself that I have like a melee influence blast build, but I think my build is not really like well put together because I don't proc melee influence correctly with that rock attack dagger like a lot. So, you know, we're not talking about it. I will have a look at that weapon later. There we go. There's a babao. It is called babao. Like maybe you pronounce it different, but like, but if you kill these, they will drop something. Or like, look at the timer on the left. When you kill it, it's actually reducing the like timer by a bit. And make sure you're standing in the green ones. And you see that Vladimir was just walking around, or like not walking around, opposites. He was just standing around. He's just standing around doing absolutely nothing. I mean, like except I guess giving overguard, but like, yeah, it was still annoying. But that's technically it. It's like 10 minutes of survival. It is, you know, absolutely annoying. If you have gear wheel, and this week we do have gear wheel, drop your crew member, organize yourself with your like teammates that you don't drop them all at the same time, then you can technically cover the whole 10 minutes because a crew member is roughly like 3 minutes, right? So, you know, make sure that you can cover it. It makes it just easier. If you don't want to use it, if you're fine with killing, absolutely, you know, go for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, it makes it, like, so much easier and you can be so much lazier. For me, these things are like, oh my god, sometimes it's annoying, especially if you get these types of weapons. And obviously, since you want to, like, get the, like, pixie chips to be able to buy the arcanes at the end of the round, I can't do anything, so I do have to, like, choose the weapons. The Vespers, by the way, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad weapon. It is just, like, it doesn't have enough AoE. That's my issue. I could have, like, built around the 4, but, like, especially with, like, the energy drain or, like, energy max, 75% of the energy max, a build around the 4 would have not been a good idea either. The 4 of Revenant, by the way, is really good. Don't get me wrong, even for higher level, because it is working with input damage to output damage. So as while you're getting shot, while you're in the 4, you're putting out more damage. So it is working. By the way, the other person I think is playing, I think a Gauss is what they're playing. So it's fine. It was actually fine. I think it was actually a Gauss, if I remember correctly. But yeah. I think I'm like, I really want to get all of the ships from ETA because I do want to like have an easier time to get the arcanes. But holy, having like the ability to only buy like 1 arcane a week, and then I literally have to wait and hope that you get at least 1 drop. It's really annoying. I mean, like, I get why they're doing it, but, like, if I see any builds at the moment recommended with, like, hotshot, like, actual builds where people bought it for, like, multiple hundreds of plat, and I could afford it, by the way. Don't get me wrong, I could afford it, but I don't want to. Because I simply don't find it, like, you know, viable enough to, like, spend that much plat on an arcane where you simply need to wait. Some people were even, like, saying, like, or I understand that some people were thinking about it, to, like, sell the hotshot now and later rebuy it to make good plat, which is probably, like, a fair idea. If you need plat, you could sell your hotshot now if you're not super, super eager to, like, use it for something. And then later, when it's, like, cheap to rebuy it. It will probably never drop, like, a lot in price because you can only buy once a week and get the drop from ETA. So it will probably be never, like, super cheap. Keep that in mind. But if you're not, like, super after it, yeah, it's definitely an option to make some plus on your plat. By the way, really annoying when you're outside the circle. You get even toxin damage through my Mesmer skin. So nothing is protecting you against the toxin. It's kind of interesting. Usually, even, like, you know, Mesmer skin, even when you, like, walk through a venomous Eximus or something, like, you are protected. So Mesmer skin usually can't pierce anything, but apparently they didn't want to accept that. And this week, you know, indeed, you can get killed. So that's actually kind of interesting. We are down to 2 minutes, so as you can see, we don't have to, like, yeah, there I'm looking at these things that give you the ring. because I just realized it. I mean, like, sometimes it would be helpful if I actually read the modifiers more clearly in the beginning instead of just, you know, afterwards. My aim is, by the way, not the best. It was like 2 the body. Simply thinking about makes me already yawn. I'm sorry. So, my aim is not the best. I think we don't have to talk about that. We all know that my aim is not the best, so nothing we need to, like, pinpoint out. Since we killed some babaos, we got the timer down a bit more. We don't have to actually stay 10 minutes. It's still, like, a long survival. So, let's all hope, I really hope for all of you that you have at least one good weapon or one good frame. Other than that, as always, you have your gear wheel. You do have your operator, so Vassal and Dash yourself if you have to. Use your operators, use your drones, use your crew member. It's the normal. You can still use your arc gun for the extra bit of overguard. Like, it's even the smallest bit of overguard can help you to make it easier for you. Don't feel bad of using all of the help that you can for ETA, you know. Just because some people can, like, you know, facing everything and they run through it in like 8 minutes doesn't mean that you have to. Make sure you get your rewards. Make sure, you know, you are comfortable with ETA, you know. There, by the way, I don't have any Misma skins and I'm still invulnerable. I don't want to know what happened there, actually. I'm actually at 0 Misma. There we go. And there I'm realizing as I'm panning, rolling, guarding. Yep. But yeah, survival, I'm sorry to tell you that. It's not really interesting. I can't show you anything interesting. The defense is not that much better. I mean, it's partially also because, like, you know, by wonderful amount of, like, input I can give as Revenant with a single pistol, you know, and a non-build Rakta because I did indeed have, I guess, the wrong build on, or I'm missing a mod. But, there we go. There's a gauss running past me, running it into each each wall. Is that the normal gauss behavior? Do I need to worry about that? But yeah, it's actually kind of funny. We're not talking about me getting stuck at the walls. I always thought that was, like, you know, a Jade only occurrence, but apparently it happened to be the same thing as a Revenant. We're simply not you know, we have, like, certain things happen in ETA that have to, like, stay in ETA, and we're not, you know, we simply will not talk from it. Oh, but we got a Tau Forge. I think it was a real good run. Okay, let's go into the next one. We got a hard shot as well, so yeah, we talked about it. This one is the defense. Little reminder, flares nullifying our abilities, and we will not realize that because, once again, we did indeed not read the modifiers. So I will stand here next in a second and wondering why I'm not invulnerable. Here I'm casting it, then I'm going back, and I don't have my skin. And I'm like, oh my god, what happened here? And I think I'm, like, really worried for a second, and I'm confused for a second. By the way, I have Router. As it is a utility weapon, Router usually helps you to get combo. Yeah, great weapon. Yeah, not. I don't suggest it that much. Oh, isn't it lovely that flare is draining your energy? I find that, you know, so good. Best idea they ever put in. Best idea they ever put in. To make sure it's, like, even more horrible. As a little tip for ETA, or, like, more for ETA, actually. Calendar buffs are working down here. So maybe finish your calendar before you're doing ETA if you struggle with it. And look if you have... or you will get a really good ETA buff, like calendar for ETA, like, you know, extra health orbs, for example, can help, or like energy orbs, so your equilibrium can work, right? Or you get, like, any buffs from melees, for example. Sorry, I actually had to yawn. I actually had to yawn. That was really bad. Oh, they're the murmurs. There you saw the murmurs for once. Okay, where are we going? It's, I have to say, I'm not having like, you know, the highest input. You know, I'm a Revenant with a pistol. I'm a, you know, little soldier. That's it. It's simply sadly what it is. I can't change it. You know, that's also a fact you have to accept with ETA. And some weeks you simply can't do better because some weeks you simply don't have a good loadout. I might want to like actually do and like build more of my stuff, random stuff. I should probably work on that. This week we will, for example, since I got the Lado in Canon, we'll work on the Lado. You know. Oh yeah, and here I get randomly stuck. And I don't know how. I mean, like, not really stuck, but I realized that you can glitch through the roof. That was kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. And once again, I'm still invulnerable, even though I don't have mesmer skins. And there we go. There we're panically dropping my... Remember, while trying to, like, stay out of flare's radius so I don't get nullified again. Oh yeah, and we still have Frost, so probably the overguard is actually from Frost, I guess? I just realized that. Yeah, and I'm doing absolutely fantastic, as you can see. I'm like, you know, shooting, or like, at least I'm trying to like shoot here and there enemies, as you can see. That's all. And I'm absolutely miserably missing every shot, you know. That's all I'm doing. I'm a bad aimer, I do agree. Especially with the pistols. Some pistols are fine. You know, my favorite one is Furious. As a laser beam weapon and in cannon form, you can maybe think about why I do like that weapon like a lot. Other than that, like dual tox is actually kind of fine. Like burst, no, awesome. But I do prefer glaives. I remember in the beginning I really did dislike glaives because I did not understand how to detonate them. And then I like swapped around my button so I could like, you know, I don't have to press middle mouse button to detonate them. I now throw like with E and detonate it with Q. I do have like changed a lot of my buttons. I have to say that most of my buttons are changed, and it makes it like so much more comfortable for me. As you can see, I killed like a good chunk amount of like, you know, enemies. You know, my calendar work is great. I'm a great help here. What I'm supposed to do, right? What am I supposed to do? We're accepting it. I can't tell you anything except that I have to accept it because that I'm like really useless Revenant here. I'm like, you know, the peak example of a Revenant. Standing around with while being invulnerable, and that's literally it. And I'm really sorry for that. I wish I could give you like a better peak gameplay with me actually trying to like hit stuff and being like pew 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 and like, you know, wave clearing everything with my like, you know, little Vesper. But I definitely can't, you know, give you a better example. Usually I do enjoy playing Revenant. Revenant was one of the first frames that I learned to play Void Cascade with, and I still think it's a great suggestion. You don't have to do it, right? Don't get me wrong. You don't have to play Revenant in Void Cascade. It is just a great option because it's taking the survivability out of the equation to like learn how to do Void Cascades, okay? But that's besides the point. But like maybe it would be helpful if you actually could cast your raw and if you had like a weapon that makes it a bit more any more like, you know, easier, like where you don't actually have to like single-handedly aim. But it's fine. We can survive it. And then we're shooting bloods. And we did it. And we got a Topaz Archon shot. I'm happy when we're getting like Archon shots, like mixed ones. Even if it's not a, like, it could have been like, a Tau Forge one, but, I will not ask for like too much. It's fine that I got a normal one. Revenant kind of seems like the like bike is too small for Revenant. I will not lie. Summon looks like it's too small. And here we go, Exterminate. It is, easy peasy. What you will simply do is dropping down your crew member. Oh yeah, Luminous. Tasty. Luminous. I don't care for Luminous, to be fair. But oh yeah, here I realize I do shoot with my rod. I'm wondering why I'm doing like nothing. Besides that, I probably also missed half of my shots, but we don't talk about it. I feel like when I say we don't talk about it, I feel like we need to like have the meme about we don't talk about Bruno. That one should probably like be. Oh yeah, that is also like we have penalties now with like, I don't know why we have penalties, but apparently we have penalties, and I'm like, since when are there like penalties? That makes Exterminate like weird. Oh yeah, and you do have to do the cash raid. Because if not, you have to kill like double the amount of enemies. And that is hilarious. Like, have to kill 400. I think that happened to us last week. And we could not find them because of like new tile sets and everything. Was it last week or was it the first week? I think it was actually the first week. But because we were like, oh yeah, no, what is happening? Do we have to do it? And we were too lazy to do it, right? And then we were like, oh yeah, we have to kill like double the enemies. And there was like, you can only kill it with heavy guns or like with your arc guns. Yeah, that was like a horrible week. That was actually like a really horrible week, but like we somehow managed it, right? But like it was funky. It definitely was funky. So here you see that actually my crew member is doing more shit than I'm doing. I'm just pretending and trying to like hit the little TVs. And at one point, the other person I'm playing with is complaining about Luminous, and because I was like, why are you running away from the enemies? Why are you not staying here and killing them? And they were like, but the Luminous! And I'm like, but I give you Vespa skin on a regular basis. Yeah, I see, like, that was our whole conversation. So you can kind of guess what like the conversation is doing, like ETA runs. And here, like, I'm dropping a Thunder Spectre for them. So they have double overguard and my mesma skins, to be fair. So now they're like actually protected. But yeah, Exterminate is actually kind of fine. Like I said, let your crew member do the work. Oh yeah, Vampire Curse. Yeah, like actually the curses are kind of interesting, not gonna lie. Not so sure what to think about it. By the way, did you know with Luminous, you can hold the Luminous hostage as Wisp? If you have like a high strength Wisp, you can hold them hostage. I did that once in EDA. Simply, put down your node, stand inside your node, and let the Luminous come to you, and then you just hold them hostage, and the rest of your team can like do everything what they want. Exactly that. That's exactly how you play this game. I did not shot, by the way, my ancient healer there multiple times because I thought he was an actual ancient healer. We won't, nothing we have to like mention there. That I thought the ancient healer was actually like an enemy, right? But yeah, we run kind of fine. It was still like a long Exterminate, but like I did shit, so I'm not saying anything because I definitely didn't help to make it faster. Except of like, providing mesma skins. Like I said, this week was definitely not a great week for me, but I wanted to show you the up and downs of ETA because sometimes you simply have to get carried. Sometimes, it's like hilarious, like when, for example, when you have... Oh yeah, I had to drop that. I randomly did that because, I did not even check what I could have collected. But that is my ETA week. We got a Tau Forge red shot. As you already saw, all of my drops in EDA was horrible, so that balanced it absolutely out. But thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.